Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. மோனமா முறையார் காட்டும் மா பிரம்மவத்துவாலன் சிவநிலை தவசீட செரி குருவரன் சிற்கையன் உவகையோருருவன் தன்னுள் உவப்பவன் கழிமூகத்தன் அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே அவனையான் தென்பான் மூர்த்தி அப்பனை ஏத்துவோமே. உள்ளதலதுள்ள புணர் உள்ளதோ உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலர உள்ளத்தே உள்ளதால் உள்ளமெனும் உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளளவன் உள்ளத்தே உள்ளபடி உள்ளதே உள்ளை உள்ளதே உள்ளல் உணர் மரண பயமிக்குளவம் மக்களரனாக மரணபவமில்லா மகேசன் சரணமே சார்வர்தம் சார்வொடுதாம் சாவுற்றார் சாவென்னம் சார்வரோ சாவாதவர். So chant from 10th verse. அறியாமை விட்டறிவின் ராமறிவு விட்டவோ அறியாமை இன்றாகும் அந்த அறிவும் அறியாமையுமார்க்கென்றம் முதலாம் தன்னை அறியும் அறிவே அறிவு அறிபுறும் தன்னை அறியாது அயலை அறிவது அறியாமை அன்றி அறிவோ அறிவயற்கு ஆதாரம் தன்னை அறிய அறிவறியாமை அரும் அறிவறியாமையும் அற்றதறிவாமே அறியுமதுண்மை அறிவாகாது அரிதற்கு அறிவித்தற்கண்ணியமின்றாயவில்வதார்த்தான் அறிவாகும் பாழன்றறி ஞானமாம் தானேமை நானாவாம் ஞானமாய் ஞானமாம் பொய்யாம் அஞ்ஞானமுமே ஞானமாம் தன்னையன்று இன்றணிகள் தாம் பலவும் பொய்மெய்யாம் பொன்னையன்றி உண்டோ புகழ். So yesterday what we saw, one is non-apprehension of the self, that is not knowing the self, that is called as ignorance. Because of that the mind projects something, that is called as knowledge of the world. See, please follow it carefully. What we call as ignorance is the ignorance of the self. And then what we call as knowledge in general terms is that whatever the mind projects as the world and the knowledge of the world, both are ignorance only. Because why this is projected? Because of the ignorance only, something else is projected other than the self. So, product of ignorance, therefore it is ignorance only. So whatever we call as knowledge in the world is only ignorance. So here, instead of getting lost in the knowledge of the world, or instead of lamenting that I am ignorant, I don't know, I am ignorant, you ask for whom this knowledge, for whom this ignorance, and try to find out that I, the self, means the ego self, which is having the knowledge or which is ignorant. Try to find out the source of it. Then you abide in the pure knowledge, where there is no ignorance or the knowledge. Knowledge means knowledge of the world. So instead of knowing the self, which is pure knowledge, which is beyond the worldly knowledge and the ignorance, if you try to understand or know only the world, is it arivo? Is it knowledge? No, it is not knowledge, it is just ignorance. So therefore, our effort should be to ask for whom this knowledge, whom this ignorance, and to find out the source of the I, and to abide in that pure knowledge, which is beyond knowledge and ignorance. Is it clear? And now, this pure knowledge also cannot be known as we know things in the world. How do we know things in the world? Knowing the object of the world. Here, the self is one, it is not two. There is no one self which would know and other self which to be known. Anniyamin Rai Avirvadarthan. It is shining as one, I. It is not two. It is not divided into the knower and known. Therefore, there it is not even knowing, it is just being. This is what Bhagavan has explained yesterday. And then he further goes on to say, even the false world is not other than the self. It is just self only. Like the ornaments, they are not other than the gold. They are gold only. Even though you call the world as ignorance or false, but still it is not other than the self. It is self only. Like the ornaments, it is gold only. This much we have to understand. That is enough. Now is it clear? Now we will move on to the next verse. 14th verse. தன்மை உண்டேல் முன்னிலைப்படற்கைகள் தாமுளவாம். தன்மையின் உண்மையை தானாய்ந்து தன்மை அறின் முன்னிலைப்படற்கை முடிவுற்றொன்றாயொளிரும் தன்மையே தன்னிலைமைதான் தன்மையுண்டேல் முன்னிலைப்படற்கைகள் தாமுளவாம் தன்மையின் உண்மையை தானாய்ந்து தன்மையரின் முன்னிலைப்படற்கை முடிவுற்றொன்றாயொளிரும் தன்மையே தன்னிலைமைதான். See, such ideas you won't get anywhere. It's very original. I suppose I have not studied this idea anywhere in the scriptures. This is so beautiful. Bhagavan says, Tanmai undayin. Tanmai means, in Tamil grammar, it is called as the first person. I. We say in the first person, I. Tanmai undayin. Only when the I arises, undayin, munnilai padarkai tamulavam. There is the second person, you, and the third person, he, she, it. Munnilai means one who is in front, you. Padarka means one is far away, he, she, it. So, only with reference to me, I talk about somebody in front of me as you, and somebody who is somewhere else as he, she, it. So, without the reference of the first person, the second person cannot be derived. Third person cannot be talked of. This is the fact. Philosophically also, only when the I arises, then rises all the other thoughts of the person in front or the person elsewhere. முன்னிலை படற்கைகள் தாம் உளவாம். When there is first person, then there is a talk of the second person and third person. If not the first person, if I am not there, then whom I will talk as you? Who will talk and whom will be referred as you? See? So, தன்மையின் உண்மையை தானாய்ந்து. Now, instead of bothering about you, he, she, it, now you inquire, who am I? தன்மையின் உண்மையை தானாய்ந்து. Now try to understand the reality of oneself. Oneself means the ego sense is rising, na? That only you can inquire. What is that ego? See, that self you can never inquire, because it is beyond your mind and intellect. It is not available for you to inquire. See, please understand, the pure self is not available for you to apply your mind. There is no question of inquiring there. As long as the inquirer is there, it is not the pure self. So, whatever is rising as I, that alone you can inquire, who am I? In that alone you can keep your attention. And when that dissolves, there is nobody. தன்மையின் உண்மையை தானாய்ந்து தன்மை அறின். The very I perishes. When it perishes, தன்மை அறின் முன்னிலை படற்கை முடிவுற்று. முன்னிலை means the second person and third person, முடிவுற்று, they also perish. ஒன்றாய் ஒளிரும். Everything becomes one. ஒன்றாய் ஒளிரும். ஒளிரும் means it shines as one, not as the first person, second person, third person. It shines as I. தன்மையே தன்னிலைமைதான். This tanmai, which is the real self, here the tanmai means the real self, that is our true nature. Tannilaimaidan. Tannilai means that is our true nature. So the idea here is, instead of thinking or bothering, worrying about the worldly things, about the beings, persons, here, there, you now worry about yourself. Because what is the worry? You consider the other person is real, and that is why you worry. Now the question is whether you are real, who are seeing the other person. I myself is not real. This is the wonder of the wonders. I myself is not. And where is the question of other? So there is nothing called as other. So there is only the self, the pure self. So there ends all the worry, all the anxieties, all the trouble. That is our true nature. There, since it is non-dual, not limited by anything, it is Ananda. The limitation is sorrow. Unlimited is Ananda. There is nothing to restrain it. There are no constraints there. That is freedom. That is Anandam. You understand? So what Bhagavan is suggesting is, you need not worry about the world or even God. You worry about yourself. Worry means what? Inquire, who am I? Because on the foundation of falsehood, you are building other things. All other things are false only, because the very foundation is false. Without inquiring into the foundation, you go on breaking your head on the other things which is built on it. Now the question is whether the very foundation is real. Bhagavan is as if trying to pull the carpet under your feet. It is under your feet. So where are you? So therefore, only when there is I, there can be you or he, she, it. The very I is questionable, and it is not. See, the very idea of Vyavahar is introduced in our Vedantic terminology because to reconcile with absolute truth and the behavior of the Mahatmas. Because absolute truth is there is nothing, 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 they say. There is only self, they say. And the Vyavahar is, we see the Mahatmas interact with the world, they talk, they do everything. For them there is no confusion. They are very clear in their minds what it is. But we cannot reconcile this. So they have to introduce something called as Paramarthikam and Vyavaharikam. And some Mahatma has introduced in between Pratibhasikam also to confuse further. There is something called as Pratibhasikam also, not only Vyavaharam. Vyavaharam means what? When you switch on the fan will run. That is Vyavaharam. When I call you an idiot, you will get angry. That is Vyavaharam. But what is Pratibhasikam is, because the I is reflected in the Antakarana, in the mind intellect, everything else is seen. This is Pratibhasikam. Even the fan or the switch or the idea of the electrical energy converted into the kinetic energy, all this idea is nothing but projection of the mind. This is Pratibhasikam. What is Paramartham? The very idea of fan or electricity, everything is null and void. Only the self is. This is Paramarthikam. You understand? So, these Mahatmas doing Vyavahar, it is from our voice, it is just the self alone. See, when they say something, we have to take it in that spirit. You understand? So, only when the I is there, there is you and he, she, it. Inquire, who am I? When the I perishes, there is no question of you or he, she, it. Everything shines as I. That Tanmay, that pure I is our true nature. So there is no mind, therefore there is no Sukha Dukkha, there is no Mana Apamana, there is no death. If there is no death, there is no rebirth. That is everything, absolute. Moving on further. நிகழ்வினை பற்றி இறப்பெதிர்வு நிற்ப நிகழ்காலவையும் நிகழ்வே நிகழ்வொன்றே இன்றுண்மை தேராது இறப்பெதிர்வு தேர உணல் ஒன்றின்றி என்ன உணல் நிகழ்வினை பற்றி இறப்பெதிர்வு நிற்ப நிகழ்காலவையும் நிகழ்வே நிகழ்வொன்றே இன்றுண்மை தேராது இறப்பெதிர்வு தேர உணல் ஒன்றின்றி என்ன உணல் நிகழ்வினை பற்றி, meaning only depending on or holding on to the present you can talk about irappu edirvu nirpa, the past and the future. Irappu means iranda kalam, dead and gone, past tense, past. Future means unborn, edirgalam, future. So only with reference to the present moment, let us say 2023 Chuma, then we say 2021, all those things, COVID times, it is all past, we say. And then 2037, 2047, India is going to be the superpower. All those, imagination, all those things you say, only referring to the future means with reference to the present one. So, with the reference to the present only, you call something as past, which has gone. And which is yet to come, you call as future. So, only with the reference to the present. This is the first idea. Right? So, நிகழ்வினை பற்றி இறப்பு எதிர்வு நிற்ப. நிகழ்கால் அவையும் நிகழ்வே. The past also, if you think, once it has been the present only. Is that not so? Once it has been the actual happening, the other present only, and it has gone, so it is in our memory, we say it is past. Even the future has got no meaning unless it becomes the present. So, Bhagavan says, except the present, the past and the future either is only in your mind, either as a memory or your imagination. Imagine, see, think about it. See how wonderful this thought development. Present alone is the truth. Even there, presence alone is the truth actually. We will come to it later. So when you call something as past, only with reference to the present you say it is past. The Christ, before the birth of the Christ, after the death of the Christ. So the advent of the Christ is the reference point. Something like that. So, present, then you say past and the future. Even if you analyze the past or the future, once upon a time the past has been the present only. And the future, only if it becomes the present, it is meaningful. Otherwise it is just an imagination, just meaningless. So, therefore present alone is tangible, is truth. The past and the future is just in the mind. How beautiful. நிகழ் ஒன்றே. Means the present alone is the truth. நிகழ்வு ஒன்றே. இன்று உண்மை தேராது. Not inquiring about our present state. See, this is the idea of our present state or today. இறப்பு எதிர்வு தேர உணல். To worry about the past or to be curious about the future is stupid. ஒன்றின்றி என்ன உணல். How it is? It is like without taking into account number one, you try to count. See, in the max, one only is the basis of all the numerals. Is that not so? What is 2? 1 plus 1 is 2. What is 3? 2 plus 1 is 3. So without 1, can you ever count? Without the present, can you ever think about the past or the future? So, not worried about the present, not thinking about the present, always you are worried about the past or scared of the future means it is like counting without taking 1 into account. How beautiful the example. Without 1, how will you count? So without the present, where is the past, where is the future? So therefore, one has to be in the present always, and also inquire, what am I, who am I now and here? It's called The Power of Now. Beautiful book by Eckhart Tolle. Beautiful book. So there he emphasizes how it is important to live in the present. All of our problems are solved if we can live in the present, he says. All the problems are because we dwell on the past. Our Acharya says, more the past, the more the ego, more the misery. That is why children are not miserable. Because they have very less past, almost negligible past. So they are in the present always. They don't have any idea of the future also. So they are happy. At the most what they want, some milk to drink, somebody to play with, that's it. So if you are in the present, you are joyful. When you start thinking about the future, oh my God, I don't know what is going to happen to me. That is why all these astrologers are making good money. They are so worried about the future. ஐயோ என்ன ஆகும் எனக்கு தெரியலையே. ஒன்றும் ஆகாது. அவரவர் பிராரப்த பிரகாரம் அதற்கானவனாக. We are so scared of the future and we miss the present, always imagining about the future, or we are lost in the past. More you become older and older and older, you think about them. They don't talk about the future because there is no future for them. They always dwell on the past. Maximum what they can talk about the future. My grandson's nephew is getting married there in Palani. I have to go. That's what they can talk. Some event which is going to happen, they are looking forward. That is all. Tata, he is 80 years old. What is your ambition in life? If you go and ask him, he will laugh at you. What ambition? Pallu poichu, sollu poichu. What ambition? என்னமோ கடக்காம போய் சேரணும்பா. I should not be bedridden. I should go peacefully. That is my ambition. So they are waiting for death. So they have more past. So they always revel in the past. இந்த நாள் அன்று போல் இல்லையே நண்பரே. Meaning what? Now the present is not as rosy as the past. Or they are scared of the future. இப்பயாவது பரவாயில்ல போல இருக்கு, ஃபியூச்சர்ல என்ன ஆகுமோ தெரியாது. இப்பயாவது நடமாடிட்டு இருக்கேன். I am just walking around doing my own things. In future what will happen I don't know. See, this is fear. So Bhagavan says, as far as possible, don't worry about the past. More the past, more the ego, more the suffering. Don't dwell on the past. And don't think of the future. The Lord will take care. You offer it to the Lord. Lord will take care. Whatever it is, we have to face it. Be in the present. Be happy. I have attended so many camps, such spiritual camps, Swamiji, but nothing happened. Why are you worried about that? Now you are here, be happy, relax. I don't know what will happen to me. Will I realize the self? You can never realize the self. You are the self. Self is already real only. You cannot realize it. Bhagavan says, I am not saying this. You cannot realize the self. The self is always real. How can you realize it? As though it is unreal, you are realizing it? No. So, what is the present? In the present, what am I? Who am I? This is what should be our inquiry. So, forgetting the present, if we dwell in the past, so what would be my next janma? Why are you now very worried about that? In the janma, the enna senjikulchani, what would be my next janma? You will be the same pig in the next janma also. Don't worry. So the idea is not to worry. In fact, you know what? From the higher standpoint, the idea of time itself is in the mind only. Because when you are in the deep sleep, there is no idea of time. Only when the mind rises, it thinks about time. Past, present, future, everything. So it's all in the mind. The self is beyond time and space and causation. It is timeless. That is your true nature. So therefore, what Bhagavan says is, Inrunmai Teradu. Without inquiring into the present state, Indru Unmai Teradu, Irappu Edirvu Tera Unal. When you are always worried or inquiring about the past or the future, it makes no sense. It is only waste of time and energy. And I tell you, oh my God, so much of energy is dissipated. Dwelling over the past, so much of energy is dissipated. And imagining and getting scared about the future also. So much of energy is dissipated. See, if we can live a very nice life according to the Shastras, we will be very energetic only always. Because if you know how to handle the mind, to keep it in the present, to keep it cheerful, not to worry about trivials, unnecessary things, then the mind is always healthy and cheerful. But we are unable to. Always it dwells in the past. Or worries about the future. But as the self, it is beyond time. There is no past, no future, not even the present. It is only the presence. What is the presence? I am the presence. Borrowing the reality from this presence, everything else shines. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Borrowing the light of the self, everything else shines. So therefore, we have to be in the present and inquire, and we have to know the self now and here. You cannot know the self in the future. You have to know the self now. Whenever you realize it, it is now only. And here only. Not somewhere in the Himalayas.
That is why it has been said that past is history, future is mystery, and the present is the present given by the God.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah. So therefore use the gift, present. Use the present given by the Lord to the maximum. Good. Okay, so that is the idea of Bhagavan. You live in the present and inquire, who am I? Okay. Namandri nadedu nadedu nadungal. நாமுடம்பேல் நாட்டுள் நாம் படுவம் நாமுடம்போ நாம் இன்றென்றும் ஒன்று நாடிங்கெங்குமொங்கு நாடிங்கெங்கும் ஒன்றாம் நாம் உண்டு நானாடி நாம் அன்றி நாடேது நாடுங்கால் நாம் உடம்பேல் நாட்டு நாம் படுவம் நாம் உடம்போ நாம் இன்றென்றும் ஒன்று நாடிங்கெங்கும் ஒன்றாம் நாம் உண்டு நானாடி நாம். The third line is a real tongue twister. If you don't know how to split it, you are lost totally. நாம் இன்றென்றும் ஒன்று நாடிங்கெங்கும் ஒன்றாம். What is that? நாம் அன்றி நாழேது நாடேது. Without me as the reference, where is நாழேது? Reference to the time. Nadedu, space. Is that not so? I get up and then I inquire, where am I? Where am I? See, when somebody meets with an accident and then they are admitted in the hospital and then in the cinema and all, the first question they ask is, where am I? Are you are in the hospital, are you not able to see? See, every day we also have this idea, See, since because we are always sleeping in the same room, same bed, mostly we don't get this idea. If you are traveling a lot, especially when I travel to US and all, every 2-3 days I am in different locality. In fact, every day I am in different devotees' house sometimes. So you wonder where you are. First day you are in Tiruvannamalai, second day you are in Chennai, third day you are in the airport, fourth day you are in the US in one state, and then you move on and on and on. You really don't know where you are, first of all. Where am I first? And if it is pitch dark, you don't know where the light for the bathroom. That is a very big thing actually, So where am I? That is the first question. And then, what is the time now? Is it morning or evening? Because every day I sleep twice. And the dusk and the dawn both appears to be same. Dawn and the dusk. I don't know whether it is morning or evening. So, where am I? What is the time now? What is my program today? Hari Rama, have I overslept or what? What is my program today? This is the idea. Naam indri. Without the reference of I, there is no question of where I am. Or what is the time now? Is that not so? So therefore, naam andri nadedu, or philosophically speaking, only when the I rises, as in the waking or dream, there comes the idea of the space and time. In the deep sleep, there is no idea of space and time. So without me in the deep sleep, there is no idea of space and time. How much of time elapsed, we don't know. Without the clock, we don't know. Is that not so? It means we have been comfortably sleeping. When we are very comfortable with our present state, time is not an issue. When we are not comfortable with the present state, time is a headache. Time is a big thing. When you are involved in some interesting thing, you will not know how time flies. When you are not inspired, time drags. Is that not so? It is all in the mind only. So therefore, time, the idea of time comes only with the mind. Even the space comes only with the mind. It all comes to only with the body identification. You will be surprised. Everything comes with the body identification. How? This is me, other than this is not me. That is space. What is time? It is the interval between two experiences. It's called as time, philosophically. According to physics, interval between two events is called as time. According to the philosophy, it is interval between two experiences, my experience. If my experience is very pleasant, the interval is not very big, as if my experiences are very bad, the interval becomes very long, as if. That is time. So therefore, with me only comes the space and time. Nadedu, nadedu. Namandri, nadedu, nadedu. Nad means day. Nadu means space, where I am. Okay. Nadungal, if you think properly, Nan udambel naal naatu naam padubam. If we think I am the body, Nan udambel. If I think I am the body, Naam Natul Naam Padubam. Naal Natul Naam Padubam. We will get caught in the space and time. If we think we are the body, we get caught in the concept of time and space. This body is only here, not in US. So we are in particular space, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. And we are in this particular time here. Is it not so? Only with reference to the body, the space and time. If we think we are the bodies, then we get caught into the web of time and space. If you move further behind, as a self, there is no concept of space or time. It is all pervading, they say, meaning there is no question of space. It is ever present, eternal, there is no question of time. So therefore, Nam Udambel, if we think ourselves to be the body, Nal Natul Nam Padubam, we get caught. Nam Padubam means we get caught in the idea of space and time. Namudambo, are we the body? The Bhagavan is asking, Namudambo, are we the body? No. Then he says, see the third line, how you have to split, Nam indru, andru, endrum ondru, நாடு இங்கு அங்கு எங்கும் ஒன்றால். See, நாம் இன்று அன்று என்று ஒன்று. நாம் இன்று அன்று என்றும் ஒன்று. Meaning, I as a self, இன்று today, அன்று then, or என்றும் the same. நாம் இன்று அன்று என்றும் ஒன்று. நாடு இங்கு அங்கு எங்கும் ஒன்றாம். Space also, as the self, there is no distinction between here and there because it is all pervading. இங்கு அங்கு எங்கும் ஒன்றாம். நாம் உண்டு, I am the truth. நாடு இல் நாம். நாடு இல். And the space and time is not. I am the truth, the space and time is not. Only when I consider myself to the body, then comes the space and time. When I am not the body, Namudambo, are you the body? If you are not the body, then as the self, you are everywhere. So there is no distinction of space. You are ever present, so there is no question of time. See, this idea, how much you are able to grasp, I don't know. When we are really happy, comfortable, we don't know what is time. Please understand this. In the self, there is bliss, there is no body mind, there is only bliss. Therefore, there is no time. Please understand. If it is defined as interval between two experiences, there are no experience there. Therefore, there is no time. Space also comes only by the body identification. here, there. If there is no body, there is only self in which everything appears and disappears. See, if there is no body identification, there is only self in which everything appears and disappears. There is no here and there. You understand? So therefore, with the body only comes the idea of space and time. So, the I am is the truth. The space and time is only imagination of the mind. When you identify the body, there comes space and time. Meaning, it is only mind stuff. It is not the reality. Einstein has come closer to this idea, you know. He said space and time is not absolute, it is relative. Space and time is only relative. So the specialty of relativity is a real revolutionary thought, revolutionary idea, you know. Till that point of time people were thinking space is absolute, time is absolute. But Einstein said no. When you travel almost with the velocity of, you cannot travel with the velocity of light, almost with the velocity of light, he says time shrinks, time dilates, time dilates, that's what he says. So therefore, this space and time is only in the mind, it is relative, it is not absolute. But I am as a self is always the same, the truth. So, in the previous sloka verse, he has destroyed the idea of past and the present, future. Only the presence is the truth. And in this sloka, space and time is destroyed, saying that it's just figment of your imagination. It is part of your mind. It is not true. See, these thoughts are really very scary actually. If you consider, with the rise of the I comes the world. With the I subsiding, everything goes back. Then what is the meaning of the history? Chandragupta Maurya lived and he did this, he did that. Where is it, all those things? And people fight indefinitely about fixing the time of that particular person or that saint. See, with the rise of the I comes the world. If that is true, what is the question of the timeline? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
I don't know, you are all blank, like that staring at me. So, Adi Shankara, when he lived, was there any Adi Shankara apart from your mind? Swamiji, then what do you mean? Adi Shankara lived or not? You ask yourself whether you are there or not. When you consider yourself with the body, born in a particular period of time, going to die and all, then Adi Shankara also lived. But when you consider yourself with self, which is unborn, then Adi Shankara is never born. You keep yourselves intact as a jiva, born in particular period of time, going to die and all, and then if you negate Adi Shankara saying that he is myth, then you are also a myth. Equally you are a myth. When you say it's all mythology, Krishna, Rama and all mythology, are you the truth? You are also a myth. If you say he is myth, you are also a myth. See, those are all cock and bull story. Your story also is cock and bull story only, please understand. See, when you say Ramayana and Mahabharata is cock and bull story, your story is really a cock and bull story only. Created by your own mind. If you say that is created by somebody's mind, it is created by your mind. It is cock and bull story only. No, I am real, my life is very real, I am a scholar, I got this award, that award, but they are all false, it's all mythology. But Jesus Christ is very real, historical figure. What historical figure? And there are so much of this thing in literature available saying that there were never Jesus Christ. There was never Jesus Christ. It was built up by the Christian theology or missionaries. So really scary. See, I'm not saying I'm not saying this, but there are so much of literature available trying to prove that there was never ever a Jesus Christ. Can you believe this? Like that, see, you can go on arguing, but you yourself is a myth. Please understand. That's what Bhagavan is trying to say again and again. You yourself is a myth. What are you talking about? That is mythology. He was just a part of a story. You are also part of a story only. Who is the author? Your own mind. So if you consider yourself as a myth, everything is myth. If you consider yourself to be real, everything is real. Why not? Vella kakka malla kaprane parakka mudiyadhu. Parakka mudiyum. Anything is possible in this Maya. Anything is possible. See, few years, 10, 15, 20, 100 years back, we thought, if I talk here, how it will be heard there? How it will be heard there? But now it is reality. Is it not so? Those Mahatmas were hearing even from long distance. Now we are hearing, we are all Mahatmas now. So therefore, everything is possible. So don't discount these Puranas as, cock and bull stories. It would have been possible that time. Now you have become so dumb. It is not possible. Maybe it is possible in the future. You understand? So therefore, this Nadu, all this is all nonsense. That is why when people talk to me about, Swamiji, do you know when Sadhu Shankara was born? Can you please fix his time? I just laugh and I don't. I don't know actually also. I don't care to know also. Whatever Adi Shankara has revealed, that I want to know. When was he born? Where was he born? It's all okay. To know is fine, but it is not very important. Because all this is, chumma minds. And to fix the origin of the world, universe. My God, these people are really mad cops. Big Bang theory. This is the theory. We think it is billion years back. What is the meaning of billion years? Light years. What is the meaning of a light year? Light traveling what? 9 into 10 power 8 meters per second square. So that has been traveling for a year is called as a light year. With that speed, if it travels, how much distance it travels? Billions of light years. What is the meaning? There is no meaning to all this nonsense, I tell you. And we are all very enticed, excited. Oh, yes. That scientist has said. What scientist? If you give him some more money, he will say something else also. I tell you very honestly. If you give some more money, some more aid or scholarship or something you give him and tell him to do this, he will do it. He is doing it. I am not joking. See, there are very good scientists. There are very sincere people. I am not denying it. In any field, every field, there are very sincere people. But most of them are corrupt also. See, these PhDs, these guides, that is so-called the professors, they put their name and they publish it as their work. Pavam, the student must have toiled. It's all happening everywhere. So what I try to say is, if they ask, what is the origin of the universe? The universe itself is a myth. It is part of your imagination. Forget about it. What? When you were born, it is born. When you die, it will die. Full stop. See, that is why I don't get into all this nonsense. What? And then coming to the 17th verse. 17th verse now? Are you all asleep or awake? Udal nane tannai unarar kunarndarku udalave nandan unararku உடலுள்ளே தன்னுணர்ந்தார் கெல்லையற தானொளிரும் நான் இதுவே இன்னவர்தம் பேதமென என் உடல் நானே தன்னை உணரார்க்கு உணர்ந்தார்க்கு உடலளவே நான் தன் உணரார்க்கு உடலுள்ளே தன்னுணர்ந்தார்க்கெல்லையற தானொளிரும் நான் இதுவே இன்னவர்தம் வேதமென என். See here, very interesting point Bhagavan is bringing out. Udal nane, I am the body. Tannai unararku, one who has not realized their true self, they say, I am this body. Tannai unararku, udal nane. Unarndarku, even those who have realized their true self, they say, yes, I am the body. Huh? Idan pudu kadaya irukku Swamiji. What is this? All this time you are saying that they are always identified with the self and they don't worry about the body, they are not identified with the body. But here Bhagavan says, Nan udal, udal nane, I am the body. For the ignorant, tannai unarar, and for the realized or enlightened, tannai unarndark. For both, yes, I am the body. உடல் அளவே நான் தன் உணரார்க்கு. For the ignorant, தன்னை உணரார்க்கு, one who has not realized their own self, for the ignorant, உடல் அளவே நான், I am only this body. உடல் உள்ளே, in the body, தன் உணர்ந்தார்க்கு, one who has realized the true self as the Swarupam, எல்லையறத் தானொளிரும் நான் இதுவே. What is the I for them? எல்லையறத் தானொளிரும். It is unlimited, infinite. It shines as the infinite I in which everything is included. So body is also included. So when they say I am body, I am that which illuminates everything. So everything is the self only. So body is also the self only. Yesterday we saw, na? Even the unreal is not other than the self. The ornaments are not other than the gold. We saw, na? So, even the world or everything is self only. So, the body also self only. Nisargadatta, he went one step ahead and said, I don't have cancer. I am cancer, he said. I am cancer. Cancer is also me only. I am cancer. So, yes, body, yes, I am body. But Innavardam Vedamenayan. This is the difference between the ignorant and the realized. For the ignorant, the body alone, his self. But for the realized, it is infinite. It is shining as infinite I, in which everything is included, means everything is I only. So why body is excluded? Body is also I. You understand? So therefore, this is the Bhedam. This is the difference between the ignorant and the enlightened. But he will not hold on to his body. He will not sort of pamper his body. He will not. He will take care in the sense what? He will feed it and he will take care. But he will never identify with the body. As the self.
Second line,
உடல் உள்ளே உடலளவே நான் தன் உணரார்க்கு. உடலளவே, only the body they think their self. Who? The ignorant. நான் உணரார்க்கு. நான் உணரார்க்கு means one who has not realized the self. உடலளவே, they think they are only the body. உடல் உள்ளே, inside the body, if they realize their true self, then they consider the self as everything. எல்லையற தானொளிரும். எல்லையற means it's everything. Udalulle means, see, we think the self is inside the heart and all. So Udalulle means when they dive within. That is what it means. Udalulle means when they dive within and when they realize the self within. That is what it means, Udalulle. When they realize the self, for them, Ellayara Thanolirum. It is shining as the infinite. Ellayara, without any limitation. So when in that vision, everything is self. So even the body is self. So this is the Vedam. This is the difference between the ignorant and the enlightened. So I was trying to say something, I got distracted. They will not pamper the body, or they will not identify with it. If the body goes, they will allow it to go. Meaning they are not too panicky. They will not throw tantrums. If something happens to the body, yes, they may also feel pain. Yes, it is all there. But for them, they are beyond. So their existence doesn't depend on this bodily existence. Since our existence depends on this bodily existence, for us it is big. Death is big. For them, it is another experience. It is another thing in the world. So for them it is not a big thing. For us it is a huge thing. So we panic so much. We throw so much of tantrum. See, pain is unavoidable, but suffering can be avoided. What is suffering? The mind creates suffering so much. Because of the attachment to the body, to the world, to our nears and dears, the mind creates suffering. When we are attached to our nears and dears, the mind feels very sad to leave them and go. When the mind feels that it is a jiva, it is worried about its future births. Where am I going? What will happen to me? When I am not attached to the body, when I am with the self, it is very clear. Pokum varavum punarvum illa. There is no going, no coming. I am the self. And these nears and dears, however they are dear to us, but it's all nothing. It is just the self. So how they react in the world, how they live their life is totally different from how we live as ignorant self, So therefore, this is the difference between the ignorant and enlightened. We consider only the body is I. They consider I to be everything. So body is also I. So here we stop. So tomorrow he is going to continue the same idea. So Ulladu unmai, the world is real for the ignorant and for the realized also. This is how he is going to talk. How world is real? For ignorant, world is real. We all know, it is real, we say. For them also it is real. Because from the standpoint of adhishtanam, everything is real. From the standpoint of the substratum, everything is real. So world also is real. Like yesterday we saw, all the ornaments are gold only. So even the world is gold. Even the world is not gold. Even the world is Atma only. Brahman only. That is how they see it. Tomorrow he is going to develop that thought. Today evening. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudhachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. See how kind and compassionate I am. See, our class is from 6:45 to 8:15, but I conclude by 7:50 only.
25 minutes before.
Yeah, I know how hard, how difficult it is to sit through Ulladu Narpadu.